Merry meet everyone. Welcome back to Midnight Fantasy Creation. I hope everybody had a lovely new year and a happy holiday. Today we are doing a very simple but very pretty ring. I am going to put the charts on how many millimeters, a millimeter ring you need in order to get to a ring size for your finger. Today I'm using, I believe it's 20 millimeter ring. Yes, a 20 millimeter ring, and I think this is size 9 or 10. I wanted them a little bit bigger, so it is loose on my finger, my middle finger, because the rhinestones that we're going to be putting in between these two rings for the band may shrink this down a little bit. And then we have a nice little gemstone. This is actually meant for your nails, to like deck out your nails. They're very big actually, but we are going to use it to make a ring today. So it'll be easier for you to do this with a ruler. I don't know what ruler this is called, but it has all the circles. So if you're just doing one for yourself, like I said, I will put the chart in the descriptions so you know what size millimeter ring you need to do in order to get a finger ring size. So you're going to need 2 of these rings in the size that you like. You don't have to have a charm, one of these little nail charms. You can use just a rhinestone. You can use like the Swanson crystals. You can use pretty much anything. And then we are going to get a small chain of rhinestones, or you can even do pearls. I'm doing it in silver because I only have the charms in silver. I didn't want to mix match the metal colors. But you can get them in golds, you can get them in silver, you can get them in different colors, you can get them in different stone colors. So the rhinestones themselves will be different colors. The color of this rhinestone is an AB clear, so it has a little bit color shift to it. I find those to be very pretty. This will also probably not be on the Etsy shop right away because I need to get a handful of charms that match in order to do enough ring sizes. So one of the reasons why I'm going to have the chart is because I'm not just doing a ring for myself. I'm doing rings for other people. I got these. I'm pretty sure I got these off Etsy. Not Etsy. Amazon, but I could be wrong. I could have gotten this at a craft store. I will have to look. Everything. I will do my best to link everything in the descriptions below. So you also need resin. I forgot to mention, sorry. I am going to be using the Go Resin UV resin. You're going to need a UV lamp to cure this. Mine is sitting on the chair over here out of the way in case it does that, because I don't want that to happen. And the cord's not very long, and I want to be able to make sure I can reach my item that I'm doing, which means I may have to shift this a little bit. So if I have to move the camera, I'm sorry. You're going to need to cure this. Actually, that might be better. And you are going to want a micro brush or a small paintbrush because we are going to be painting the UV resin onto the rhinestones and the rings to get them to stay together. So I am doing this all in silver. I already had my piece measure and cut. What you're going to do is you are going to take the string of rhinestones. When you want to measure them, fill it, make sure they are all the way pinched, facing the direction you want. Make sure they fit. I may need to knock this down one, but it's not. I want the rhinestones to be facing outward. There we go. Yeah, that fits. And then when you have it on the string, you can just cut it. I cut it with scissors. So I measured it. It was sticking out a little bit. I grabbed it with my fingers here. I'll show you. So take their string, fill the inside. Again, you want to make sure it is going in the direction you want the rhinestones to be, because trust me, it will make a difference. By the way, these are 2 millimeter rhinestones. You can have them as big as you want, as small as you want. The general idea is going to be the same. So I need to cut it right here. So take your scissors or your jewelry wire cutters and just snip the string of rhinestones and then you'll have what size you need. And of course, double check to make sure you didn't make it too big or too small. If it's too small and you're putting on a rhinestone pendant, not a big deal, as long as it's hiding underneath that rhinestone that you picked. So if you made it too small, don't freak out. You're just gonna double check to make sure the width of that stone is gonna cover that opening, and then you don't need to worry about it. You're just gonna have to be a little more extra careful when you're putting it together. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that rope, we're gonna put it inside the ring that you want. Make sure you get the right size. Make sure they're pushed all the way together so they're not expanded, because this rope can expand and contract, which makes it really good for like maneuvering or in round circles or squares, and that should fit really snug. Now I do have this on a silicone mat because this is probably gonna make a mess, and I want to do it on my tablecloth. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a little resin. Actually, I want to get a cup. Give me a second. I will be right back. I am just gonna grab a cup. All right. So I have my cup. We're gonna just pour a little bit in. Don't need a lot. Should be good. Otherwise, you should be wearing gloves. And then you're gonna take your micro brush or your paintbrush and dab a little bit in. And then you are gonna carefully go around the top of this ever so gently or carefully, that you don't get your little ruler, stencil, whatever this is, and you don't lift the rhinestones out. So you want to brush it on. Of course, I'll fast forward the video wherever I can. And once you have a nice good layer, and this isn't going to cure until you put it under that UV lamp, so if you make a mess, clean it up right away. And then you're going to take your metal ring and you're going to place that right on top without dropping it like I just did. And make sure that's exactly where you want it. You're going to get your UV out of the way, you're going to get your UV lamp, and you're going to cure it. You only need to do this for about 30 seconds, so you don't need to cure it all the way. I'm going to check that. Make sure I didn't glue it to the... And then you're going to move your stencil out of the way. Alright, so that is put together. I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then you're going to put the other side of the ring on. Make sure it's exactly where you want it. Nice and centered on the ring. And then you're going to cure it for another 30 seconds. And that's going to hold your ring in place. And just look how beautiful. That's going to focus on me, is it? Focus. All right, I'm going to do back here, and I'm going to zoom. Look how pretty that is. And let me see if I can get this light to angle a little more down. Like, tell me, you can just leave it just like that. That is a really pretty ring. I may have a few of these on my Etsy shop with no rhinestone, just a basic band. But for today, I wanted to add a little rhinestone on top. But before we do that, we are going to, whoops, I don't want to do that. We are going to make sure this is nice and sealed in. So I am going to add a little more resin just around the inside of the ring, all the way around it, to ensure it's nice and secured. It's a lot smoother on the finger, and it will protect the ring a lot better. Cure it for another 30 seconds. Alright, that looks good. Flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. You can layer the inside with the resin as many times as you feel needed. Just remember, you're going to lose a little bit. It's going to get a little snugger on your finger if you make this really thick. Just keep that in mind. right, now we've done both sides. Stay. I am just going to check it for any imperfections or areas that I may have missed. And if I need to hit it again with some more resin. This is not too shabby. I might actually go in and just give it another final coating on the inside, just to ensure that it is not going anywhere. Now these rings are going to be very light, so they're going to feel very dainty. And then I'm going to cure this for 60 seconds just to make sure everything is good. Both sides. Still feeling a little tacky, so I'm gonna put it under the UV light support. And I'm gonna hold it this time. Okay, so that's just ever so slightly tacky, but I think that's just the texture. UV. Oh, that shrunk it down a lot. Okay, well now that's a pinky ring for me. But again, that's super pretty just as it is. Oh, I have ring cards. Hold on, let me grab one of those real quick. All right, so I have these little very flexible plastic cards. I am just gonna toss that right inside the ring. Go, and that should help prop this up for me to work on. You're going to want to prop your ring up, keep it level. You can, if you have a small piece of silicone, you can roll it up, stick it in there. I've seen somebody do that. Yeah, I've seen someone put it in clay. They've walled up a wad of clay. Or if you even seen in stores, it's called sticky tack or gum tack, or it's that sticky tack you use to hang up your posters. I've seen people do that. I want to see if that'll fit and which direction I want to put this in, because I can go this way. So as you can see, you can do this in different directions. You can change it up. You can make this as complicated and as simple as you like. I think I am going to do it this way. So now that I figured out where I wanted to put it, I do want to double check to make sure there's no imperfections that I want to hide. Then we're going to take some UV. We're going to stick it where we want the rhinestone. Nice generous little glob. Now the thing that I love about the little nail charms is the bottom is actually curved. And that's going to go with the ring for the most part. Center that best you can. Make sure it's not crooked. So it doesn't move. And we're just going to do this for 30 seconds. And I'm going to try and do this up against the wall to hopefully get the underneath. That's where it's gonna be, is underneath. I just wanted to tack on enough for me to flip this over so I can put some UV resin underneath it. Perfect. I'm gonna gently take this off the card. We're gonna flip this upside down and we are gonna load on some more UV resin and make sure that bad boy doesn't go anywhere. This out of the way, and then I'm going to put this on for probably another 60 seconds, and then of course check it. It's feeling good. That's looking good. Put it underneath for a final curing. Now, I've seen Daniel Cooper share his items in water. Drop the item in, something about the water magnifies the UV, and it works great for him, and it gets rid of the tackiness out of it. If this is still tacky to the touch, I'm going to test that theory out and see if I can duplicate that. If I can find my little tiny clear measuring cups that I got from one of my kits. Otherwise, the cups are going to be too big. It's actually feeling really good. Feels really good on the finger. It comes off. The UV resin gives it a little bit of a grip. So if it's a little loose, you know, it's not gonna slide off too easily. Now, this was measured at 20 millimeters, and that sucker fits like my thumb, my middle finger. It's actually very loose. After you put those rhinestones on, that shrink it right down. I'm pretty sure this is now like a 5. Yeah, that shrank it down to a 16 millimeter opening, maybe a 15. And I believe a 15 is a 5. I'd have to double check that. So you want to keep that in mind when you are doing these rings. But that is it for today's video. Again, I wanted to do something very pretty, something very simple and elegant. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want me to see me do, I do want to do more complicated rings. This one, like I said, was actually quite simple and easy. I've seen a couple of people do them. They've done them a little differently. And then I want to get into the more complicated jewelry. But for today, just something nice and simple. So if you like what you see, subscribe to the video, hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to click the bell. It'll let you know when there's any new videos, or when I release any new videos. Of course, comment below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Blessed be. Bye.